Oh,
home sweet home.
Chris,
Ricky,
we're back.
we did it.
We're here. We're in the office.
It's about time.
We have the camera set up. We have microphones in hand.
And we're both wearing our white kicks today too, because we're in spring session here.
I'll wear them. They're the only kicks I have. So they are in session always. Always.
It's been that long. It's been that long as we've gone from. Was it still winter?
The wife cast. The wife cast happened.
When was that?
I don't know. Katie and I got violently ill following that podcast.
Thankfully, we did not. So we didn't catch it from you. Thankfully.
I don't know. Sometime in February, March.
February.
Was it January?
Not have been February.
Oh man, I don't even know.
It's been long enough. That's all I have to say about that.
It's been a while.
It's been a while
since we recorded a show from my office. Yeah.
Oh, what a great band.
It's been a while. Everything just turns into a bad Scott Stapp, though.
It does.
That's
for you.
Like that's Stained. He doesn't sound like Scott Stapp.
It's been a while.
I said I'm sorry.
What are we talking about today, though?
Not that.
We're not talking about music, though.
We are not talking about
Although
music.
we will have another music. We finally did something right, I think. We started making a list of what our episodes should be coming forward here.
Are you telling me production value?
Yeah.
Are we going to have some prep?
Finally, yes.
Well, we have a list.
We're not gonna just fly by the seat of our pants. We're actually gonna have a list of upcoming episodes.
We're gonna still fly by the seat of our pants.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
That's what makes this show great.
Yes.
But now we just have a little less fly.
Yeah. Although I'm looking pretty fly today with my glasses.
And all the girlies say you're pretty fly for a white guy.
I look like that on what's that game again? You don't know Jack from Here Up. I think it's from Here Up. Anyway.
I would move the camera to make it work, but
no.
I'll do a cut. We'll do it in post.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to happen.
We won't do it live. We won't do it live.
We can't reference that video. We'll do it live.
Do it live.
Oh, I can't not.
Okay.
Bill O'Reilly.
So what's
It's great.
So what's new? What's new, man?
Well, I will say this. Let's see. The last episode we did was the wife cast. There were some, really one in particular Lancaster person, my brother-in-law Dan, who thought we were not kind enough to the great county of Lancaster. Which
we offended somebody? Is that what we do?
Yeah.
We're offenders?
We weren't that bad. We talked about Lancaster being a retirement place.
It was number one, I think it was on the list.
But
or number two.
He thought we were just a little bit harsh.
Oh.
A little bit harsh on the Amish.
Sorry, Dan.
And it is what it is.
Is he an Amish?
He's not Amish. Oh, you're from Lancaster. You must be Amish.
You must be Amish. He's got a beard, though, right?
He does have a beard.
Okay. As close as Amish.
Yeah, he's got a nice, pretty sizable beard. Well, he did. I don't know what it's at currently. I don't know. I'll see him.
You'll see him soon.
I'll see him in tomorrow.
Cool.
Tomorrow. The fam's coming up. Today, on 4/20, we're going to be talking about... No, we're not going to. But today is my son's first birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Calvin.
So, yeah, Calvin's numero uno. So, family are coming up from Pennsylvania to celebrate him.
That's a big deal.
Big accomplishment
one.
he had. He survived
He
year
did.
one.
He did.
You can make it through year one. You can make it through anything.
He done good.
But that's not what we're not here to talk about, Calvin. What really prompted this episode was some friends gave Lily some toys. Lily is my 5-year-old. If you don't know, if you're new to the show, Lily is my 5-year-old. And one of the toys that was given to Lily was a light bright. And now this is not the light bright that I remember.
Not from
It's a lot more compact.
From our youth. Yeah.
It runs on battery.
It's mobile.
Everything's
mobile
it anywhere,
nowadays.
which you don't really want to make light bright mobile. Picture those little. It's still the same tech.
Yeah.
You're going to drop those little things everywhere.
Right.
But she got a light bright, so that got me thinking about. My wife and I were just talking in the kitchen. I'm like, do you remember our light brights? I mean, they were huge.
Yep.
You had to plug them in.
There was no. Yeah, you had to be stationary in one area where it could reach the plug. Yeah.
But
absolutely.
it came with like these construction paper type templates with the shape that you wanted to make, and you kept them. And when they were new, you actually had little X's to punch them through. And then after that, you just had to make sure you hit the right bullet hole if you wanted to make the shape again.
Yeah, I remember those. They were like it was black, right? It fit perfectly in it.
Yep.
It had the little circles to push them through. Yeah, I remember those. Turn on the magic of colored light. I think
is that what
the commercial
is that the
turn on the magic of colored light?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I don't remember the light bright jingle, but
yeah.
Yeah, so it just,
everybody had those growing
Lily
up,
now getting toys that are nostalgic to me made me think we should talk about nostalgic toys on the show.
Yeah. Good thought.
Because though we were both born in the 80s, we are really, I mean, you had more time in the 80s than I did. But we're really kids of the 90s.
Yeah.
And the 90s was a great time
90s
for
strong.
toys.
Absolutely.
Great
thing.
The 90s was
for
the best era of television.
Yeah.
Aside from Breaking Bad being in the 2000s. But when I think of children's programming, the 90s owned it.
Yep.
The 90s owned toys. So we're going to talk some 90s toys.
I'm game.
Ooh,
Can't wait.
Game. Chris's
Like
game.
that?
So now we have our own list of things that we just were spitballing going down memory lane. But we also have a couple articles online that we're going to reference from a site called Retro Dodo, and then another not so popular site, but maybe it's called BuzzFeed. I don't know. Maybe you've heard of it.
It'll never catch on.
They have some
Name
stuff
like
on
that.
there. The better list is actually on Retro Dodo, though.
Yeah.
I feel like they captured more of the
nailed
90s.
it.
So we're gonna just talk about some of those toys, and we're gonna hit toys that we wish we had but didn't have.
Yeah.
Which, as we just get to them, we can just mention.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess we should we start off with the first one on the Retro
Let's
Dodo
do it.
list?
Yeah.
This one was huge. I'll share my
Kind of
screen.
making a comeback too, I think.
You're going to see some of the things I buy online, apparently, because getting very targeted ads on this blog. Bought some splitters from REI on Amazon. But the first one, the Tamagotchi. Tamagotchis seem like the coolest thing.
They were cool.
And I don't know why they were cool. It's like you just keep this little thing alive.
See, I never had one though, but it was always I think it started out with the girls having them, and they were like, oh, they had their little pets.
Yeah.
And stuff and babies. And then all of a sudden it's like guys started like, it's actually pretty cool. I want to get one of these. And I had a friend who had one. Everybody had that. Did you have that friend? Everybody had that one friend that was probably the richest kid in your grade, right? And he had everything when it
always
came
had the
out.
cool stuff.
He had all the cool stuff before anybody else did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He set the standard for like, this is what you should get if you want to be cool.
Yeah. And
he had
You
one
are
of those.
so right. You are so right. I can't think of who that kid is, but
For
there
me, it
was that kid.
his name was Blake Boffman. Yeah.
With Blake. Blake would have it.
Yeah. He had everything. He was cool. He was a cool kid.
I feel like I had a friend. I think my friend Greg Araldi had everything. He wasn't an only child, but he just had good stuff.
Yeah.
He had a race car bed.
Oh yeah.
You know what I
never
mean?
had one of
Like if
those.
you have a
That's-
race car bed, you're probably
Yeah.
going to have a good childhood.
Absolutely. You have a satisfying childhood.
So
That's true.
Tamagotchi, the thing I remember the
Tamagotchi,
most
baby.
about Tamagotchi, not me playing with it, but that they got banned in my elementary school because girls were getting in fights over them.
My gosh.
Over these silly little
Electronic
digital eggs.
eggs. Yes, that's true.
So, I just realized I've had it on the Tamagotchi screen the whole time.
That's right.
This is why I shouldn't try and do video stuff, because it just fails. So that's Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi. baby.
Here's another one. We'll just keep going on here because this was a big one.
Beanie Babies.
Beanie
Oh,
Baby.
I remember when those were big and people were collecting them like nuts. I never really got into them. I wasn't really much of a stuffed animal kind of person, but I had a lot of friends who loved those things.
I had quite a few Beanie Babies.
Did you?
I even had like the Beanie Baby holder that you would put it in, like the little like display case.
Oh, I didn't know they had
for
them.
my special ones. I don't remember
do you
what
still
was in
have them?
No.
They could
Well,
be
we
worth
do
money.
have. I do have Beanie Babies. My daughter has them now. And what's the first thing she did?
What did you do?
Ripped off the tags.
I was gonna say
because she
You
hates
gotta
tags.
You gotta take the tags off.
I'm like, Lily, you don't take the Beanie Baby tag off.
Yeah.
That's just not what you do.
If you're a collector,
they
yeah,
made it like
definitely not.
20 years with the tags on. You had them for a week, and they're all just gone.
they're not new ones you gave her.
No, they're mine.
They were yours.
Yes.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's okay.
So they're worthless now.
they didn't have much value anyway.
We gotta get an Antiques Roadshow around here and see what kind of.
Yeah, my Beanie Babies
offering
probably
they
aren't the ones making it on there.
That's what everybody says.
I don't know why Beanie Babies were so
It's the other
popular.
thing. Like, what made them so popular?
Like, why did we care?
I don't know. Because they were, I guess, because anything that if you make it for a little while and then you cut production, say we're discontinuing this particular one, then all of a sudden people are like, oh, yeah, so I get the last of the last. That means there's a limited supply of them. They're not going to just keep churning them out. So all of a sudden it becomes, oh, I wanted that one, but you can't buy it now. But you have it.
Yeah, but it was like, but they were even popular before they were limited edition runs. I feel like
probably,
culture's weird. Like just all of a sudden it's like this is going to be popular and people are going to love it.
That's
Why?
before influencers too. So
Right.
It's just the regular people
Right.
are the ones who set the standard for things. Not these like
anyone was an influencer.
That's true. But who was the original? We don't know. Who was the OG original?
I don't know.
Who knows? But this is another one. We had one.
Right.
My brother had this one. I didn't have it.
Stretch Armstrong.
Armstrong.
There's probably not a better picture. That's what they got. But
It looked a little bit different than that. It had. I think he wore like a red suit, if I remember correctly.
they had multiples.
They
definitely
had
had
a cartoon, I think, of it, didn't they? For a little while.
Oh, maybe because they always made cartoons to push toys.
Yeah, of course, that's true.
I learned that on the Toys That Made Us
As we got older,
on
yeah,
Netflix.
we find that out.
Like, oh, the show existed because of the toy, not the toy existed because of the show. Oh, yeah. The toy companies owned my mind. But yeah, so I think this is the first iteration of Stretch Armstrong, just like a dude in underpants.
Yeah,
that you stretch out. But there was like
Ric Flair a little bit in that picture, doesn't he?
Woo! I follow. I know it's a side note. I follow an account on Instagram called No Context Ric Flair, and so basically it just puts like this everyday scenario and then a video clip of Ric Flair being Ric Flair, which is just ridiculous.
He's over the top, like charismatic, always excited about something. Yes.
It's a great account. No Context Ric Flair.
I gotta look that up.
You got to look it up. It's great. Yeah, Stretch Armstrong was fun. I don't know what. Literally, the only appeal is stretch his arms as far as you can.
Right.
That was
a while.
That just ends up in the bottom of the toy box.
Exactly.
So many toys are that way. Polly Pocket's on the list. I'm not going to talk about that because I didn't play with Polly Pockets.
Yeah, me either.
Oh,
Pogs.
Oh.
Blake had Pogs. I got to tell you.
Of course, Blake had.
Of course he did.
Okay, can we look at this? Look at this ad. Genius Tool taking U.S. by storm.
Oh man.
A pocket-sized chainsaw.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. I love ads on the internet. But
Pogs.
I know almost everybody had Pogs. I knew no one who played Pogs.
Right. It was a collector's item, and you tried to. I guess if I remember correctly, you would just stack them up somehow or put them together, and then you have what were the really heavy ones called? They had Slammers. You had the Slammer, and these were all made of like essentially just cardboard, weren't they?
Yes,
they were cheap.
In fact,
cheaply made.
I ended up one of the toys I had as a kid was a make your own Pog thing.
Yeah, I do.
So
remember
it had
that.
like a sticky, it had kind of cut out Pogs or something. You could stick like something from a magazine or a picture on it, and then the machine would stamp it down and basically cut you out a custom Pog.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so you make your own.
You had that?
I had it.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Another set of Pogs I had, which was my favorite set, was I had just like a Michael Jordan collection. So I had like this silver Slammer with the 2-3 on it, and then just images of him dunking.
That's sweet.
Which it was just cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was it cool? I don't know.
But the whole premise of the game was you put them in, and then you would throw the Slammer down, and whatever fell outside or you knocked over or something like that, you got to keep.
I don't even know.
I don't
know.
And then that's how you would somehow get other people's, because this is like, they're not cards, and you weren't trading them, but you had to play this game.
But people would trade them.
They would trade them.
Yeah.
That's true. But but the right way to do it was you played this by throwing the Slammer down and somehow, kind of like marbles, like hitting marbles.
Yes.
Hit outside the certain area, and then you got to keep them. So they didn't last very long.
They
though.
didn't. No,
like
but they were
really big for like a month. It seemed
maybe slightly longer.
Yeah, probably
but
for like a year or something.
I also had these Pogs with like bad, like weird humor on them.
There's always one about like a guy taking a crap on him or something, wasn't it? Like,
Okay, I didn't have that
face,
one.
Where the guy's like it looked like he's trying to.
They were like, it was like now I can't
You're right. They were humorous.
remember.
So
It
they
had like little
strange
jokes
humor.
on it, like something in the Sun-Dried Kid instead of like the Sundance Kid. So Buffalo Bill and the Sundance Kid was like Barbecued Bill and the Sun-Dried Kid, like something stupid,
Yeah.
ridiculous on it. Anyway, let us progress because the '90s had much far better things to offer than the Pogs. But Pogs were good.
What are you getting?
I'm just
here?
I'm
Or
just trying to
just
get
sliding. Just sliding. Through.
this is
Oh, you got to get
okay.
to talk about these ones.
We'll talk about these little ones.
This is-
Sponsored by T-Mobile.
This is before the movies.
Before the movies, which thankfully they changed the look for the movies.
Yeah.
right.
Can you imagine if they were just
Let's-
these naked
like
trolls running
white,
around all the time?
skin-toned, naked kids with colorful hair.
Oh my goodness!
But trolls have existed for a really long time.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was a kid having trolls, and then my mother let me play with like her old troll's house or something that she still had from a kid.
Oh, I didn't know
It
they
was
had
like
them
a
that far
little
back.
suitcase thing. I think it was, unless I always just played with it as that.
Right.
I
And it
don't.
wasn't
But
that.
I think it was. I think they go way back.
But they had different sizes. They had like the mini ones that were really small. Then they had the normal size ones that were couple maybe 4 inches. Then they had the ones that were really big.
Oh, I never had those. I had the
Remember
mid
those?
size.
Yeah, the mid size,
standard size.
the standard size. And even the standard size ones, they had the little. Some of them had the little gem in the belly button.
Well, that's what I'm saying. These ones
Remember
are
those?
missing.
Yeah. None
When
of them
I was
had
a
them.
kid, the most relevant thing was not only the hair, but to have the belly button.
Yeah. The belly button
the
had
gem.
some gem in it or something like that.
But yeah, these ones, they're lacking. These are just purely naked with big hair.
Yeah.
But
But
I don't.
to just like try to mess with the hair and make it do different things, like stand up to the left or like try to part it, or even some. I think some girls even I remember that had them would try to braid them or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, if you go really.
I
Crazy.
did have it. Mine came with a brush, but I don't think I never used it. But after
think I
the
ever
Trolls
had
movie
one.
came out, they didn't try to like make
Yeah, it's not like they have a big
Trolls
lot of
toys
trolls.
like this.
I
Like
don't-
they had little tiny ones. My daughter had some of them, but they didn't
They didn't go
they
back
didn't
to this.
come back to this mode,
Interesting.
even in a colorful way. Okay, this
man.
is one of those games I always wanted but never had.
This is a great
Mousetrap.
game. Mousetrap. We played this one for hours.
This always seemed
It was
like
so much
the coolest game. I think it's just the commercial. Yeah, I think
yeah,
the appeal of it is it's almost like the opening of Pee-wee's Big Adventure
Yes.
when he has the whole
Making the breakfast.
breakfast thing. Like that's what it reminded me of.
Yes.
Something you can make with an erector set. Because you had this ball to drop down.
Yep.
You'd fire the person, I guess.
And it would go into that little
Going
tub.
here.
Yep.
Yeah, this whole chain reaction.
It was fun.
And I don't even know how the game is actually. I'm seeing around the outside there's places to move. I don't know
Yeah.
how this game
Well,
is
the
played.
first time you get it, obviously you play the
Oh,
rules.
it links over. You can buy
Oh,
it
you
on
can buy
eBay.
it. You play by the rules where you're building it as you go along. But then after that, like you've done it once or twice, you're like, oh, we're just gonna build it because it was more fun just to build it and just to keep.
That was
playing
the
it
appeal.
and watch it go through its
Yeah.
whole motions. Yeah,
So that's a
that was a great board game.
man.
Yeah,
I
board
still
games
want
were
it.
good
I
back
look
in
at
the
this
day.
and I go, we should get Mousetrap. Now I have the power to just go get Mousetrap.
Yeah, you can. As long as you
I
can
got
find
kids.
it. Oh wait, you can
That's
click
my
on it and you
excuse.
buy it.
Oh, eBay.
That's right.
Furby's on the list. I'm not talking about Furby.
Should we talk about other board games?
Furby's dumb. Yeah.
Or are they just in here?
Yeah.
I
What,
mean,
what do we
'cause-
have? What do we
'cause
have
we had
jotted
some-
down?
So we talked about that was one of them. We're like that was a great game. Mousetrap
what?
Operation, which is coming back
Ah.
in full force. Oh, there's
I'm the
is that
doctor
one?
for you.
I'm the doctor for you. That was a great game. That's back again. One of the most difficult games too, especially. What was the one that was the hardest one in that one? The butterfly. Would you say?
What game are you talking?
For
Operation.
Because that was the
was
one where
butterfly
you
hard?
couldn't get around
The
it. but
funny
the
bone
only-
was very narrow. I
Yeah.
remember. Getting the bread out of the stomach, wasn't that called the bread basket?
Yeah, the bread basket. that was
I'm
that was
trying
a fun
to-
game. Don't break the ice. Remember that? Don't break the ice.
Now, what did you do? You wet a paper towel put it on it, and then just stacked marbles on it till it broke.
No, it was
Something
just
like
it was
that.
just essentially they look like ice cubes. Remember that?
Oh, that's that one.
And yeah, and what you did, it was almost like a Jenga kind of game where you just instead of removing the the piece from the tower, instead this was you're knocking out a piece of the ice around this person that's on it.
I'm thinking of a different one then.
Oh, because
I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and you had a little hammer and
Yes.
you hit that little piece off, and it would still remain, and then eventually somebody would hit it, and the whole thing would just collapse, and you would lose.
Oh, I was thinking of the game where
remember
it's
that one.
a tall, I don't know, it sits up off the table a little bit, and you'd put something on it, a weakened piece of paper, I think with water, and then you would go and you'd have all these marbles on it. Eventually, whoever made them fall through the paper lost.
I don't remember that game.
I don't remember what it's called now.
But that would be a fun one.
This one here, I found this. I just saw this at Target. I always thought this game was awesome. Crocodile Dentist.
Yes, I never had this one, but this was a cool game too. It had a timer on it, right?
Look at this tagline. You're the croc doc in this game of daffy dentistry. Crocodile Dentist. And I think if you pulled the wrong tooth, his mouth snapped shut or something.
Oh.
So it's
That's
kind
what it was.
of one of those games.
Milton Bradley made some of the best games.
Oh, they were good. They were good.
That
Ages 4 and up.
That reminds me of like Hungry Hippo. Remember that? That was a great game.
I never had that one.
Oh, we had the game. That was a lot of fun to play. These games didn't take not a lot of brain power. It was just a lot of fun. It was just, take something out of here or collect as many marbles as you can. So it was very simple, straightforward, but a lot of fun.
There were a lot of options
Yeah.
for those games in the 90s.
Exactly.
You know what? And I don't know if this game originated in the 90s, but a game that's fun in our house now is Pop the Pig.
Oh, yes. Love that game.
Did that exist when we were kids?
I don't think so.
Oh,
But
what
it's the
a
same
good
premise.
what a
It's very
fu-
similar premise.
You're inserting your hamburgers into this pig's mouth. You pop its head, and then all of a sudden his belly explodes.
Then you lose.
And it's a fun game.
I like that game. We got that when
I think we
Natalie
play
was
whoever
little.
pops the pig is actually the winner.
Is the winner? Okay.
I don't know what the rules state.
I forget.
All I know is
But it's got a number
Lily,
on each of the hamburgers.
Yes, for
Like
how many pops
how many
you get.
the pops, yeah.
Yeah, and Lily just always wants to be the one who pops the pig,
Of course.
and is
Every kid
devastated
wants to
when
do
she
that.
doesn't. Let me talk about Lily's devastation for a second.
No. She doesn't get devastated that often.
So for Easter,
She's 5, right? You said?
she's 5.
Okay.
For Easter, we did a Easter egg hunt, and the Easter eggs had little pre-packaged prizes in them. And one of the prizes was a tiny little yo-yo. And she actually got, I think, 2 of them, and then they were tangled together. And not worth untangling. They were not good yo-yos.
Right.
As far as yo-yos go, they were probably some of the worst yo-yos you could ever use. And they were sitting on our kitchen table one night, and as is our nightly tradition, Lily doesn't want to get ready for bed, and she gets very distracted at bedtime. And so she had the yo-yos. I'm like, give me the yo-yos. And then I was going to do this no matter what. But at that moment, I just put them in the garbage because we were done. They were useless yo-yos.
And she saw you doing it.
Oh, she saw me. She was stopped dead in her tracks, and she was very sad getting ready for bed.
Oh, no.
And then she goes into the bedroom to talk to Mommy. And she hadn't said anything to me. She didn't freak out. She didn't break down. But she goes in the bedroom, and she starts breaking down to Mommy about these yo-yos. And the statement she made 3 times, not only then, but also when I was putting her down for bed, is she would get sad about the yo-yos, and she'd go, I just can't stop thinking about them. I just can't stop thinking about the yo-yos.
And if it's like
Katie
a
and I,
person.
we
you know what I mean?
we both laugh at it
Oh,
because it
no.
was so dramatic over the worst toy that was ruined and unplayable.
Did she get upset when you were laughing about it too?
I tried to hide it.
Yeah,
I really
that's
did.
the hard part when you're a parent and you can't help it. Oh,
It,
my
it was
goodness.
just, it's such an
Can't stop thinking about
impassioned,
it.
I just can't stop thinking about it. Lily, you had the yo-yos for less than 24 hours. You never used them in the correct manner.
They were terrible. They were
bad.
Bunched up.
My plan
That's
wasn't
hilarious.
to throw them out as a punishment. It was just like, all right, we're done with these.
Yeah, we had
no
our
matter
time
what.
with them. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was funny. That's another nostalgic toy, a yo-yo.
Oh, yeah.
Yo-yos were huge when I was a kid.
Yeah, me too. And then also the yo-yo balls. Remember the yo-yo balls where you didn't have to have any skill
You didn't have to do
whatsoever?
yeah.
You could just like throw it around and it always come back.
Oh, terrible. Terrible. I had a yo-yo with the sleeper.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Yo-Mega.
Yeah.
The Yo-Mega Fireball.
Oh, you remember the names.
Oh, yeah, it was good.
Who made those? Remember the Smothers?
Yo-Mega.
Oh, Yo-Mega. Remember the Smothers Brothers? Is that the name of them?
I know who, yeah.
They always had a guy on it that was a yo-yo expert.
Oh.
So whenever they would do like their comedy bit, whatever, they always have a time where they would show a yo-yo like presentation, and this guy was unbelievable.
Oh.
I think, yeah, he had one of those brands.
You know
that he
who-
was always peddling.
You know who has some yo-yo skills? You know that a guy, Elijah, we ran into at
Yeah.
Starbucks the other
Yeah.
day? Came to our church.
Yeah,
He's just super into yo-yoing.
Really?
He's a good yo-yoer.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I would plug his Instagram for people, but I don't remember it. It's
There-
something with yo-yos.
There's competitions.
Yeah,
Like
oh,
yo-yo
yeah.
competitions.
I think I went to school, a guy named Mike Phillips in college. I think he yo-yoed
Really?
back in the day in
It's just
Michigan.
amazing what people can do with that thing.
Yeah, I was just happy to be able to do like rock the cradle.
Yeah, me too. I could never
Like,
do
oh,
that.
I got the triangle and the thing's moving. Yes.
I could just do the sleeper. That's about all I could do, and I felt pretty good.
All right, let's keep moving down the list here.
Oh man,
They're not showing you the cool. They're showing you the average, but super soakers.
Those are awesome.
Like there were squirt
Super
guns.
Soaker 50 was the original. I think it was in that color. I don't know if that's the same size, but
Yeah,
thing
I
was
mean,
great.
you pump it.
Yes,
Shoot someone with a beam.
that was a game changer when you didn't have a pool growing up, which I never did, and you didn't want to just run through the sprinklers 'cause that was kind of like boring when you get to a certain age.
Right.
But if you had like a Super Soaker,
My
was awesome.
My cousin's the person who always had. My cousin Jimmy always had the cool stuff. Only child.
Cousin Jimmy.
But both. I had two only child cousins who always had great things. My cousin Larry always had the most up to date game system. My cousin Jimmy Hassel had those, but also had great toys, and he had a collection of Super Soakers. The XP into the thousands, which
yes.
basically meant you were going to get a welt when you got shot with it.
Yeah, because I remember at some point my parents have to say, "Don't hit each other in the heads with that." You know what I mean? Or in the ear, because remember you see that thing go.
Yes.
Through your, that would hurt so bad.
It would always be like, yeah, you guys can use these ones, and it's like this version of the
Right,
Super
yeah.
Soaker. And then meanwhile, he comes out with the one that has like 3 tanks on it.
It had the
two
pullback
pumps, and the thing's
lever.
just
Like you didn't even have like it had the lever, almost like a hose. You know what I mean?
yeah. It was like
Oh
the
my
XP 5000 or something.
It had a backpack, didn't it? One of them had a
Oh,
backpack.
I don't. I think you're right, but I don't know that
Oh,
I saw
my
that one. In
goodness.
person.
They got out of hand after
But-
a while. They were unbelievable.
But
with
do they
everything.
exist? Can you get a Super Soaker anymore?
I don't see them in stores. I mean,
I haven't looked.
when I go to Target or Walmart, I don't see them. That if I did, I'd be like, I'm getting one of these.
And see, that's why the 90s were good, because you could get toys that potentially hurt you.
And we all turned out okay.
We did.
We did
We're
fine.
tougher because of it.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Super Soakers.
Super Soakers were so much fun.
So much. That was a blast. Oh, and these are for
Here's the game
the indoor
nobody
days.
wanted, but everybody got.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
This is the game that was the parents thought. You know those memes that's like, Mom, can I get a Game Boy? Well, we have Game Boy at home.
Right.
And then they show you Game Boy at home. That's the Tiger handheld computer game.
Everybody started out with
I
one of
want
those.
Aladdin for Super Nintendo, but you have an
You already
Aladdin
have
game.
exactly. They
With
didn't
those
understand.
Awful.
The parents didn't understand.
Like I had Mortal Kombat on that little Tiger handheld game, and
Look how ridiculous they look now. When you think about it nowadays.
can you imagine like it did one thing.
Yeah,
It played that game.
and it could only go left or right, or you push 2
Yep.
buttons. It was
Look,
all you could
look
do.
at this one. Pick/carpet, and here's lamp.
I had the Batman one.
They were
That
so
was a fun one, though.
customized.
But they were games though that my parents can play. Like my dad got to the point he was playing those, and we would go back and forth and say who could get past level 7. You know what I mean? And he would somehow do it.
Right.
But then once we got into real video games, he's like, I'm not playing these. I can't play these games.
So I'm going to go ahead and say these Tiger handheld games, which are unique. You buy it, you get that one thing.
Yep.
There's also the comparable music
Oh man,
piece. Check these out.
that's right.
Hit clips.
I didn't even remember this until you reminded me earlier.
I
And I'm thinking,
remember-
I totally forgot about.
I
these
remember
things.
seeing it's right here. I remember seeing the NSYNC one on the aisle. Now back then I couldn't openly say I liked NSYNC because that would label me poorly. But now I openly say NSYNC is awesome.
Would that be a guilty pleasure?
NSYNC? I don't.
Should we have
Did I
another
say that
podcast
weird?
about that?
NSYNC?
NSYNC?
NSYNC? Well, that's one of the ones coming up. We're going to do Guilty Pleasures Part 2.
Yeah.
A guilty pleasure, I guess, is anything that you listen to, right? That you're like, I don't want someone to hear me listening.
Exactly.
That's a guilty pleasure song.
Yes.
Now, whether society, like, people like go, yeah, you just listen to Bye Bye Bye. Who cares?
Right.
But like
Yeah,
in your head,
nowadays,
you're like,
nobody
it's gonna be me.
When anybody seeing,
that's not Bye Bye
seeing
Bye,
me
but-
sing to this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
While in my car,
I
the
just
windows
am-
down.
I
keep the windows up for
learned-
certain songs.
I learned at some point in life to just embrace
Right. Who you are.
ridiculousness,
Right.
and it's freeing.
Yeah.
So-
Don't care.
No apologies.
Yeah.
So, is anything truly a guilty pleasure for me? I don't know.
Maybe.
No,
yeah,
it's
maybe
still
that's yeah.
still is.
But these, these
the
are
hit
ridiculous.
clips. The hit
And
clips.
if you think about
you
it,
had
the
to buy
concept is-
one song.
Yeah, you're just buying a song.
Who is Hoku? I don't remember.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh, this is that 98 degree. No, who is that?
I can't tell.
Oh,
Is it a boy
Soul
band?
Decision.
I don't even know. Who that
I don't
is.
know. Yeah, 18s. Ridiculous. But yeah, it's just funny the way technology has progressed.
So quickly. You know
Because
what I
like,
mean?
like we
'Cause-
went from having these Tiger handheld games to like now you can get a handheld game that has all the regular Nintendo games, the
Right.
NES games on it.
Yeah.
It's like
oh yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah. A game system like the Switch, where you can essentially switch from doing, I'm gonna play it handheld now. No, I'll play it up on my TV now.
Right.
You know what I mean? It used to be one or the other, and now it's they found a way to combine them together.
Man. But I will say I'm glad that I experienced those games.
Oh yeah, me too. It helps you to really appreciate what you got nowadays. With oh you got to mention these.
These
were
were the pinnacle of the
phenomenal.
toy collection in the early 90s.
And those were the exact ones that we had. Like,
Oh,
those are the
so good.
originals, and they were so well made.
so good.
The only reason I don't have them nowadays is because I threw them away. It's not because they actually wore out. Like you couldn't wear out toys back then.
No,
the
Teenage
same way.
Mutant Ninja Turtles. My brother still has all of our turtle toys.
Really?
He's got them. He lets his
Oh,
kids play with them because we play with
so
them. We didn't
cool.
collect them.
Yeah, same here.
My brother-in-law Kevin, he collects them. He collects toys.
oh,
He's
so
a toy guy.
So you probably don't take them out. He doesn't take them out of boxes
no.
or anything like that.
No, I mean, I guess he has some that he would take out and let people play with. But yeah, he gets like the new up-to-date turtle toys and stuff. But yeah, these were great. The belts came off.
Yes. Yep.
You always lost, and this picture actually, this shows it well. You always lost Michelangelo's nunchucks are Raph's size because
Yep.
they were too small. And this is everyone's toy collection. Yeah, you had his staff and you had Donatello's staff and Leonardo's
Sword.
yeah. What did they call them though? They didn't call them swords, katanas.
Oh, katanas. Yes. Yeah, the katanas.
But the nunchucks were gone and the size were gone in like a week. What we had, which was a pretty cool addition to the collection, was we actually had the sewer.
Oh, did you really?
So you had like their living room, and then you could attach these little pipes and have them go through sewer pipes.
That's cool. We never had anything like that. I think I had. Oh, who were the two? Bebop and
Ooh, Rocksteady.
Rocksteady. We had the two
Those are
villains,
awesome.
and Crane was the brain, right? I think we had
Krang.
Krang. We had Krang,
Yeah,
but he had to go inside of another, inside of a character. I forget that, so he could control it. I forget.
Yes.
but we didn't have any of the
yeah.
other cool, like like you said, the sewer or anything like that. We just had
we had. Do you remember the Rat King from the
Yes,
show?
Rat King, yes.
So we had the Rat King's like device that he rode on in the sewers.
That's cool.
We had a lot of great turtle toys. We had the turtle bus, which folded down like with this big fly swatter
you had
thing.
the bus? That was really cool.
Oh yeah. Oh
man, it's a
turtle,
Volkswagen, wasn't it? Essentially, it was a VW. Kind of.
It was a little. The one we had was a little different. It was like or no, turtle van. We had the turtle van.
The van.
That's what it was. It was like a mixture of the Astra van and a Volkswagen. It was like a weird mix of both.
It was cool though.
But we had the turtle. No, we did have a bus too. I don't know.
Did you have
the turtles
Splinter?
had so many iterations. I don't remember if we had a Splinter.
I don't think we had Splinter.
We must have. I don't know. We also had like the movie version of the toys.
Oh, I never saw.
Now they
those
weren't
ones.
hard plastic like these ones. They had like a rubbery texture to them. You could pop the arms and the head off and everything.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But they were a totally different feel. But they looked like the movie turtles, which are always a little weird.
Do you think they've ruined the turtles with the new iterations?
Well, this is just me being old, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
I would say
We
yes,
always liked
but
the
that's because I'm like,
originals.
well, back when I was a kid, the turtles were great.
I guess that's how every parent is. That, as they get older and they go through things and something, then they recycle something that's been around since their childhood. They're like, oh, it was the originals, always better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
But
it's not as good. But
I think there has been too many adaptations of the
and
turtles.
there's a new one just coming out too. Seth Rogen's put one out.
You know who ruined the turtles? Michael Bay. The Michael Bay Turtles movies. I didn't need that. Like
90s
that
movies
guy
were cool.
specializes in destroying childhood memories.
Yeah, that's true.
Transformers, Ninja Turtles.
Right.
Because Transformers, we'll just move over to that toy.
Right,
Because
that was a great
Turtles
toy.
and Transformers were the two. I feel like that were the coolest
They were
toy
very
to
cool.
have. The OG Transformer toys were my cousin Jimmy had a ton.
I only had like two. I think I had. Who's the main one? The big semi truck.
Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime. Everybody had Optimus Prime, and I think we had one or two other ones that were still a little bit smaller. But yeah, we weren't big into them, but every kid had them.
They were cool toys.
Yeah.
Especially, you had
They were well made,
yeah, some
They
of
were-
them like
they
you
were
had, like,
metal.
the jet.
weren't they?
I
Some
don't
of them were metal. Like the Optimus Prime wasn't just plastic. It
It
might
was
have
like
plastic
there was a
components.
mixture of both.
Yeah.
Back then they like
it was
mixed.
substantial.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were a good quality toy
Yeah.
that would withstand the test of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a ton of them. And in that same, I guess it would just keep pushing forward. Here's a toy that I don't think I had a single one of, but I always wanted was the G.I. Joe action figure. Like
Oh yeah.
the tall, like the decently sized, almost doll.
Yeah,
but
they
you don't
were-
call it a doll.
Yeah, they
'cause
were
It's
just
a boy toy.
That's right. It was
Not a boy toy
action
because that
figure.
sounds bad. It's a boy's. It's a boy's toy.
Yeah. We had two. I had one. And my brother had one. We got him. I think we got him for Christmas one year.
I didn't have any.
Yeah. I had the
And-
Cobra Commando with the ninja, and
Yes.
and the thing, it was cool because his mask came off. You're like, and in the show, you never saw him without his mask on. So you're like, so the first thing we did was take it off to see what he looked like underneath, and then when you take it off underneath, he's got one of those. He's got like a he's like you see his hair and his eyes, but he's got a mask over his face, like a cowboy mask kind of thing.
Oh, so you still
So you
didn't
still
see it.
can't see what his looks like.
They gotcha.
Oh no!
I always thought the coolest
were
looking one was the Arctic GI Joe.
Oh yeah, with
With
all the white. Yeah,
Oh, it's so cool.
those were cool.
That's so cool. I liked that look so much that even when I was playing GoldenEye 64, like I just liked playing the level called Surface where you're in the snow because they had soldiers that looked like that I
Yeah.
still thought looked cool.
Right.
It's just a cool look.
It is a very cool look.
They were Barbies for boys.
Yeah,
That's really what
Essentially.
GI Joe was.
Essentially, it was. I mean, we only had one of each of those big ones, but before that, we were really big into just the regular action figures, like the originals. I remember the first time I saw them and I knew what they were, and I had to explain to my parents for Christmas that year that I wanted GI Joes, but I didn't want to make sure they didn't think I meant the army men, the green army men. So I said I wanted the GI Joes that the arms move up and down and around, and they're like, okay.
Where the feet aren't sealed in
Right,
plastic.
exactly. You could actually move them
Yes.
around. Oh, we spent hours playing with GI Joes. Those were such great toys. You know.
Just rubbing that one in.
Yeah. Oh, you never had them. Sorry. That's right.
We spent hours
Hours.
playing with those amazing.
We had the
No, I'm just
Jeep
kidding.
too, where it had the gun on it, where you could put somebody up there, and it was really cool. Oh yeah, everybody had
Okay, I'm
these.
switching to this one.
The most ridiculous
the
toy.
Velcro toss and catch.
And those are the colors everybody had.
If you're listening to this on audio, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This little plastic thing that could fall apart at the drop of a hat. The Velcro that no matter what age you were seemed too small for your hand or too giant. There was never a happy medium. And it was red, or it was green and pink.
Oh, yeah.
It was always green.
It was green and pink. And you know what? If it ever got wet or you got dirt on it, it's done.
They always had dirt on it.
Yeah, because you're always dropping it because it doesn't catch perfectly every single time.
You had to like
it's falling
lob it,
around. Yeah,
and kind of catch it gracefully, like
oh, I'm catching yeah, exactly.
And then if you're like any other small child, then you go, let's see how fast we can throw it.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
you throw it too hard, it would hit the cardboard backing, and then the thing would pop apart.
Right,
And you'd
and
be
then you
left
couldn't
with this
use it.
plastic backing on your hand while the cardboard and the Velcro lay on the ground.
You know, and it's essentially, what do they do with all of them? Because they must have just turned those into dog toys because those look like, essentially like the balls that you would throw for dogs to catch.
Yeah.
Aren't they? Like, go fetch, and you
It
throw
absolutely
that ball.
does.
Just like that.
Why did everybody have this though? Like every parent in the 90s was like, my kid's going to love this.
I think it was a lot of grandparents too. Like grandparents would get
Oh.
that. Like we got those from our grandparents.
But I don't
Like,
remember
look
as
what
a-
we got you, or like,
But I don't remember hating it. But looking
Yeah.
back, I go, what a
yeah.
meh toy.
Yeah,
It was just
exactly.
not
Just
great.
give me a ball in a mitt, and you just throw,
The
you gotta play catch.
Velcro toss and catch didn't even really have a name.
No, yeah, exactly. If everybody knows what you're talking about when you mention them or show them, you just
Sorry, I'm
scrolling
through the list because some of these things, maybe for different people, these bring up different memories. Some of
yeah.
these I don't remember. You didn't remember this one. I'll just mention it because I thought it was
Don't
awesome.
remember it.
Biker Mice from Mars, I thought was so cool. It was a show that I liked, which I'm 100% believe that show must have come from the toys, not the opposite. Biker Mice from Mars. There were Street Sharks, which you didn't remember, but I had a Street Shark, and they were awesome. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Let's take a little stop here.
Yeah, those were great.
Remote control cars.
They were all over the place.
They were so good, and this one in particular, the Tyco Rebound,
Yep.
was sweet because it could flip over, and you could just keep driving the other
Yeah.
the other direction.
I think it was blue on one side and probably red on the bottom.
think, yeah, blue
it
and
doesn't
red.
Show it in the picture as well, but yeah, I remember seeing that commercial. That was the coolest thing. Like everybody's jaw dropped when they saw that. You could keep playing with it. You don't have to it knocked like other ones knock over. You got to go over. You got to pick it up, put it back on.
Right.
It's like that one. There's no stopping it. It was so much fun.
Tyco.
I never
that's how
had
you
one.
Spell RC.
But you know what we did have? We had the coolest remote control car because it was one that you had a glove. You put a glove on, and it had the remote on the back essentially, and you would just use your hand to guide it. So forward, then it would go forward, backward, go back, left and right, and then it had this little button in your palm that you push that button, and it would turn on turbo mode, and it would go faster. And that thing ran out of batteries in like 20 minutes.
Every remote control car did.
Oh yeah.
You could
didn't
not
last very
have
long.
extended fun.
Yeah, it was just okay. Time to go inside, charge it, and do something else.
It's the opposite of how batteries work now. Like
Right.
you can quick charge something and then use it for an hour or more, whatever it is, depending on what you're charging. Then it was, this is going to take all day to charge.
Right.
And you're going to get 20 minutes out of it.
Exactly. That's so true. And everything was like out of the box when you bought it, like charge before first use. And you're like, oh,
every kid's
I gotta wait
nightmare.
4 hours before I can play
Right?
with this. Yeah.
And if the battery in the car didn't die, then the battery in the controller did.
oh yeah, yeah. And the controller battery took like 6, at least the one I knew on the back. It took like six double A's. And you're like, and you ruin it in 20 minutes, and you're like, oh.
I think we even had the knockoff version of the Tyco Rebound, which, no, maybe it was Tyco. I don't know. I feel like I remember it taking like D batteries
Oh yeah, yeah.
that you had to replace. It wasn't even necessarily a rechargeable type deal.
Yes.
My dad had a remote control car that I'm not sure where he got it, but that thing could fly, but had like a 10-minute use
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. And the rechargeable batteries back then were terrible, like they are as they are compared to
right,
today.
because if you charged it before it was dead, then you actually lost battery power
Right,
or something.
Right.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, they didn't keep very long. So we always end up just getting regular. Well, one of the things that we kind of already talked about it, but we talked a little bit about board games. One of the board games that I wanted and I never got, I think you agree with this, was Crossfire. Remember Crossfire?
Crossfire!
You'll get caught up in the crossfire.
Yeah, oh.
That was a great commercial. Like, you never forget that.
That commercial
Sold
made Crossfire seem like this is the game that's going to make you just own the universe.
Right, exactly.
It's the battle to end all battles.
Yes.
I love the kids are flying in on the hoverboards. Yeah. Everyone's gathered around the Crossfire arena.
It's almost like a battle to the death. You know what I mean? This is a real deal.
Oh man, it was so good. This is a commercial worth bringing up.
Yeah. In fact, you posted it recently. That's what made me think of it, I think. Did you?
Yeah. Oh, I think a lot of this is being fueled with the fact that I started following another Instagram account, or also on Facebook, Nostalgia Video. It's a store, Nostalgia Video, and they post all these things from the 90s. And I saw, the Crossfire video. All right, so.
Oh, yeah. Relive this moment.
Let's check
maybe
this
for the first
out.
time if you've never seen it. It's awesome.
Crossfire.
It's sometime in the future. The ultimate challenge. Crossfire.
Look at, oh my goodness.
Crossfire.
I thought there were other people around. Maybe there's not.
I think after.
Look at the lightning.
It's so cool.
Now, I think
Reloading.
my nan had this at her house, so I got to play it.
I never got to.
But I never owned it.
There's all the
yeah,
people.
there's all the people. Look at that pixelization.
Oh, that was such a great
Oh
commercial.
my goodness.
So you actually got the chance to play it. I don't think I ever did. If I remember correctly, I don't think I even got a chance to play it.
It definitely. I mean, it was kind of fun because you're shooting. That's another game. It's the 90s. This gun shoots hard metal balls.
Right. You could never do that nowadays.
Like, if you detach the gun, I'm pretty sure you could launch metal balls at someone.
That, and not only that, but like if somebody tries to swallow those little balls, like you know what I mean, they're
Yeah.
that'd be problematic.
But they had some weight to them, and then you're basically just trying to knock the metal balls with plastic shapes into your opponent's goal.
Yeah.
And you do it by shooting this thing.
Yeah.
That is the
It's
commercial
not, right.
makes it look so much cooler than it actually is.
Right. It's all it's essentially doing, just trying to knock this little piece of into the other person's goal, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it looked so cool.
It was. Yeah, it was cool. I mean, it wasn't the worst game.
Right. Right.
But yeah, it's certainly not the
It was
epic.
made much more of. Yeah. Yeah.
But commercials back then
Oh, so well done.
sold toys. I would say better than today, but literally every commercial that pops on, my daughter's like, I want that for my birthday. Like, your birthday's a year away now.
Right.
What do you
okay,
mean?
you can get every birthday.
Okay, I want that for Christmas. Well, I
See if
I
you
can never tell you what you're getting for Christmas. I don't know what Santa's going to bring. But these commercials now, they're not even good.
No, not
And
the same way.
Kids see them and they go, I want it. Like, but back then, like, you felt like if I get this, playtime is going to be revolutionized forever.
Yeah, it's like, this is the last thing I'll ever want. I promise. If you just get me this,
Yes.
I'll never want anything else the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Like, okay, see
yeah.
how long that lasts.
Man. You say that, and I'm like, it's so true. Kids are so silly.
Yeah.
But that was us.
That was true.
That was us.
That was our mindset.
Man, I'm sure there's a lot more to get to, but we're going on 48 minutes here.
Oh yeah,
I
gotta
think
mention this though.
I don't know if this should be the grand finale, but it's going to be.
It's
going to be. We can always do part 2 if we want. But Nickelodeon GAC.
That defined a generation, I think. Just Nickelodeon in general. Like anything that came out of Nickelodeon that they put their name on was instantaneous hit.
It was cool.
Especially that, because Slime, remember Slime? Like if you got slimed in that, it started with
Yes.
Double Dare, and then it got into, what was the other show with Summer Sanders that they did? It was
Summer Sanders. Figure It Out.
Figure It Out. And they would get slimed like
we
every
talk
once in a while.
we didn't talk about-
and it would just come down on somebody randomly.
We didn't talk about this on the Nickelodeon show, I'm pretty sure, which is unbelievable.
Oh.
I also left off SpongeBob SquarePants from that, which, of course, Andy
I guess
let me know.
That's something else we got to talk about then.
We can't do Nickelodeon Part 2. That's ridiculous. Well, mentioning it now.
I'm mentioning
so
it,
we're
yes.
burying
It's
it in the toy
it's
episode.
So yeah. So
but
anyway,
yes.
anything Nickelodeon. So
there was the
that
Gak,
slime made
which-
the Gak sell,
which
'cause it
was
looked like slime.
Kind of, it was slimy, but they also had Floam.
Yes, I remember Floam.
Now, Floam was even cooler than Gak. 'cause
but
you
that
could
wasn't
mold it and shape
Nickelodeon
it.
though, was it?
Oh, I thought so.
Maybe it was. I thought for some
Oh,
reason
maybe
I
I'm-
thought it was
maybe I'm
it was
wrong.
a different company, but
Oh,
look it up.
Floam.
Floam. They made Floam shoes too, didn't they?
What?
I'm
Oh, you
pretty
remember?
sure.
You remember those shoes? Maybe Floam wasn't Nickelodeon.
I don't think it was.
Uh,
I could be wrong though. Maybe they put their name on it eventually later on.
yeah. Who knows? But you remember those shoes that girls wore? Jellies.
Yes, jellies. Oh, so ugly. Why do they even call them jellies?
I don't know, but
were they
I-
actually called jellies? Like
I
if you
thought
bought them
they
at the
were.
store? They were just so weird looking.
Like those clear plastic sandal that probably just destroyed their feet.
Had glitters in it. I think in it sometimes.
I look at that now and I just go, that is just a
Jellies.
sweat factory. That was the Croc before the Croc.
And they would wear that on the playground. Oh yeah, terrible.
I'm so glad we didn't have to wear those.
Yeah,
We
but
just-
Gak, I mean, that was cool because you could make it fart noises with it. Remember that?
Yes, you push it.
into the corner. That was slime before like slime now, where you make your own slime.
oh.
Yeah,
Oh, you know what one? I feel like we need to talk about it. This is how I'm going to be.
you gotta get it in. This is gonna be lost forever. This
is
episode.
I know. This is also probably not a grand conclusion, but as a
yes.
kid, as a sports kid,
Hours of fun.
just the vortex, the Nerf,
The Nerf
vortex.
It could make you feel like
It
you didn't have
changed.
to. You didn't have to worry about a spiral because every time you
Right.
threw it, you spiraled.
Exactly. I was so bad at throwing a
Me too.
football
Too.
that the vortex was so much fun, and then it
Yeah.
had like that whistle
Yes. Oh, it's so cool. You could hear
as
it
you
coming.
threw it.
Go for a long pass, and anybody could be QB.
You'd throw it at your friend, not paying attention, pop him in the head, but it didn't hurt because it was Nerf.
Right, exactly.
Nerf
was great.
Nerf was so good back then.
Yeah, it
we
was.
could talk about that too because Nerf still exists now, and they have all these mechanized things.
Yes.
But there was my cousin Jimmy again had the 3-ball blaster that rotated and shot the fairly hard foam balls at you.
Yeah.
And then I also had like a bow and arrow.
Oh, I
type
had the bow and
thing
arrow one.
with the big dart. It just
Yes.
shot one giant dart.
That too.
It was
That
so
thing
good.
was so fun.
It was so good. We
man,
could
Nerf.
we could talk about this for hours.
For days and hours. and
Nostalgia's fun, but unfortunately,
come to our conclusion.
it has to come to an end.
Yeah. All good things must. Right?
So what we would like you to do is
Sound off.
If we forgot something, we want to know about it because we want to live in the nostalgia.
yeah, we love it.
That's our
We're
favorite
nostalgic.
thing.
Yeah, we're
That's
nostalgic.
society's favorite thing. That's
Guys.
why we will never have a new movie come out ever again. Super Mario Brothers movie was nostalgia fest.
That was great. Well done.
So if there's a toy that we forgot about that you're like, how did you forget this? Let us know somewhere. We're on social media at the Lunch Bee Pod on Instagram. Yeah, you can find us on YouTube, our YouTube channel, also at Lunch Bee Pod. And yeah, hit us up. Let us know. We're glad we could be back
It was fun.
with
Fun to
you.
be back, yes.
And we'll be back again soon. Thank you for tuning
We
in
promise.
to the Lunch Break Podcast.